You're tuned in to RBLR, the home of Tampa Bay's RBLR Sports.
4 seconds left. In front. Happy moment. The Tampa Bay Lightning have won the first Stanley Cup. And the Tampa Bay Lightning have won the Stanley Cup. Lightning strikes twice. The Tampa Bay Lightning win their second straight Stanley Cup.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to RBLR Lightning. As always, my name is Jake Ricker. Alongside me, it's Joseph Vitaro. It's Matt Gannon. Guys, welcome back to the show. And we have another week of unbelievable Lightning hockey to talk about. Boy, how things can change in the span of just a little over a month. It is absolutely unbelievable. It's going to be a super fun show. Welcome to everybody that's tuning in with us live here today. But first and foremost, before we get into the great hockey played by the Bolts, guys, how you doing today? How was your Thanksgiving?
Had a good one. Appreciate it, Jake. I feel like I'm still about as stuffed as the turkey that was served for dinner. It's one of those things that no matter how much you eat that day, I always tend to eat almost as much the next several days with leftovers. So it was great. Some good home cooked meals. Time with family. How's it for you guys?
It was a pleasant Thanksgiving. Thank you for asking. I hope everybody, with us today also had a good Thanksgiving. What are you guys' favorite meals? I know we're a little past this, but is turkey overrated?
I gotta say, this year I had my stepfather-in-law's turkey, and he did an amazing job. It was so damn good. I'm not gonna lie. It was the best part of the meal for me personally, except for, of course, the desserts.
For the most part, Matt, I'm not as big. My family cooks prime rib at Christmas, which is way better than turkey. But if you cook a turkey right, it can still be very good and very well done. So
I like your tradition.
Yeah, I want to come over to
that.
Jake's house for Christmas. I'll be there.
Yeah, some prime rib. Yeah, it's
really man, good. And then if you get prime rib, that means that your leftovers are like prime rib sandwiches. Oh my God, that's oof.
Yep,
your family's got it figured out, bro.
It's a good time. Just like the Lightning have been having a really good time these last couple of weeks, man. They are playing some unbelievable hockey. Guys, I remember we were talking about what is going on with this team. I know some fans are upset and some people are calling for a bunch of trades, fire Cooper, the whole 9 yards. And they have just completely done a 180. It's been absolutely stupendous to watch, and it's been really, really fun, especially while we watch some of the other teams that we don't like that much kind of struggling right now. So Lightning are flying on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, I was at the start of the year, I was talking about, at least our first round picks, top 10 protected. There's a chance we get Gavin McKenna or something like that. And that's
you're on the McKenna train.
That's completely behind us now. I love it.
To speak your truth for you, tied for first in the entire Eastern Conference right now against the Carolina Hurricanes, who have the same number of points, but we have more regulation-only wins, which is, if you get 2 points and one of them is through overtime, then it kind of counts a little bit less against your record. But yeah, I'd say it's a heck of a turnaround. We were almost last, right? Or were we pretty close to it? So
we're last in the Atlantic.
Yeah, from worst to first, I'll take that.
I'll take it any day of the week.
Oh man, could you imagine what the betting lines would have been to go for the Stanley Cup at that point?
Oh,
if you're like a diehard Lightning fan. I don't do betting, but man, and then the smile on your face can't you do something like cash out a bet if the odds dramatically improve?
I don't think they would have given you a cash out option that early because there's still a long way to go. But you can do a cash out if they offer it to you. It just depends on your app and that situation. But you're right. I bet the odds probably did jump a little bit. I do want to get to a quick comment here real quick. Sorry, Matt, because we're talking about the turkey and stuff, and somebody said best turkey this year, and I do standing rib roast for Christmas Day. So there you go. Another really good one. I like that. Welcome to the show. Matt, what are you gonna say?
It's gone. I'm sorry.
You got sidetracked by the food we were doing again. Well, let's get into the games and talk about some of this great hockey that we've been kind of alluding to here for the Lightning. We all know they've been dealing with injuries a lot, Point, Cernak, McDonough, Hedman. Hedman was back out on the ice today at practice, so fingers crossed he could be returning soon. That could be a huge help to this team that's already playing great. But their first game we got to talk about, guys, is against the Calgary Flames at Benchmark International Arena right before Thanksgiving Day. So this was kind of their Thanksgiving game. And boy, did the Bolts show up. Now, listen, I know Calgary is not the greatest team in the NHL. In fact, I think they're one of the worst right now. But you still have to beat the bad teams. And boy, did the Lightning do that. They were on fire in this first period, especially where they scored 4 goals. In fact, they scored 3 so quick that Calgary made a goaltender change. I think that might be the fastest goalie change that I have ever seen, at least personally. It's got to be one of the fastest. It's definitely up there, no question about that. Things slowed down in the second and third period, but Kucherov gets one late. Flames did get one shorthanded. Lightning win it 5-1. This was a really, really, really nice game and special one for me. I finally got to go to my first game this year. I know, I can't believe I'm saying that. It feels wrong. But I think the boys missed me a little bit.
I think they miss us all. I think we've got an undefeated record so far this year. Joe, did you go?
I went to that one Devils game when we were in our slumps, but we got the retribution. They realized what they had done and worked to correct the issue.
No, I mean, this was a really fun game. I had a very, very casual friend, watching this game with me, and he was asking me, he's like, is every game kind of like this? I was like, no, you do not come out, score 4 goals lightning quick like that, no pun intended. But I knew it was going to be quite a routing from the Bolts. Like in Calgary, they've been playing better as of late, but still they're, one of them bottom dwelling teams. But I did not think it was going to be kind of like that. You can argue, a couple lucky goals. I think there was even an own goal or just kind of a weird deflection in front, but still, I mean, they came out buzzing, and they were for 95% of this game. It was never really in jeopardy. And I always take these goals personally. The shorthanded goal to ruin the shutout definitely kind of sucks, but at the same time, if it's what was the final score, 5-1, you just kind of just push that behind you. At that point, you're playing kind of loose, you're not really expecting it. And it was just a wicked shot too. I think it was Joel Farabee. It was just a really good shot as well. Not many goalies are saving that, but this game was never in jeopardy, and just what a fun first period it was. And 2 goals from Carlisle, or did he get one taken away?
Yeah, he got credited with 1 goal, his first goal of the season. Santini with his first assist of the season, which was a primary assist on that goal. I was kind of annoyed that they're scoring so quickly right off the go, because I was still kind of doing a little bit of Thanksgiving prep, and I just about completed all of the stuff in the kitchen, which I could basically start to hear the buildup of excitement on the TV just in time to run over to see a replay, and then I got to watch the rest of the game. I missed the first 5 minutes, which was apparently enough to miss all the action to get us started. But I think we were saying in I threw out in our chat, it felt like the Oprah Winfrey game, based on who was scoring and who was getting assists. It's like, you get a goal, you get a point, everybody's getting points, and it was really a lot of different players getting putting their name on the score sheet here. We've got, let's see, Hagel, Sorelli, Kucherov for the first one, Dastu with the second, Paul, Gensel, Gergensons, Gord, Holmberg, Carlisle, Santini. Finally, our first repeat on the score sheet with Gensel, and then Raddysh even at the end got a secondary assist for a new name. So a well-rounded effort, even if in the third period Calgary started to push back a little bit. But the Lightning were just in shutdown mode, so it didn't really matter. I mean, Calgary got 18 shots in that third period, but they weren't really pushing in a way that was going to end up making a much difference.
And nothing's really encapsulated this, stretch, this 2-3 week stretch of just tremendous Bolts hockey as this game has. It's a list of guys you don't normally expect getting goals or getting points. These guys that you hoped would never make this lineup, in a perfectly healthy season, which it's not, that are stepping up and getting goals or points, whatever it might be, even just, defensive plays, whatever it might be. Like, they had Calgary locked down ground for, again, like 95% of that game. It never really felt dangerous. So it's just a little glimpse of what we've got over these last 2 weeks or so.
Oh, and one more thing to point out, the special teams, specifically the penalty kill, continues to just, I don't know, just be amazing through this game. Five kills for five shorthanded, and then they were actually, for once, they went 55% in the face-off circle to do, still a little bit better than the other team, which is a big improvement compared to what we've been seeing this season.
Huge. And by the way, the penalty kill in the league right now, the Lightning lead the entire NHL at 88.8%. So really good stuff from the penalty kill.
Maybe Eureka can run this for us. Is there a goal differential for the penalty kill? Because for as many times as we've been scored on, I feel like shorthanded we've put up almost as many goals. So I don't know if you can pull that. It sounds like a fun stat right now because they're just doing so well.
Yeah, I know we've only got a handful of shorties on the season, no more than like 3 or something, but I can't remember how very many power play goals going in against us. So it's got to be a low number.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, even if you've got 3 shorthanded goals, if you've only allowed 10 actual goals against, that means almost like 30% of the time you're that's huge.
I'm trying to look at it right now. I think I can tell you goals against 5v4 for the Lightning have just been 2 on 5v4. Now,
that ain't right.
Well, that's what I don't know. These stats seem a little weird.
Well, let's talk the next game, and then we can see if you're
I
able to work
do
his magic.
quickly want to say I got to be on the glass for this game. We got last minute friends that gave us some of their tickets. I got to be on the glass, which is always so much fun. And I know we already know this, but again, just seeing it up close and personal, watching Nikita Kucherov fly in the zone and pass that puck through multiple people like it is absolutely nothing is so remarkable. It is truly unbelievable how good that guy is when it comes to his hockey IQ. It's absolutely ridiculous to watch him play up close and personal. If you ever get the chance, it's a lot of fun to watch Nikita Kucherov do what Nikita Kucherov does. And he's been really, really good. Listen, everybody's been playing some of their best hockey right now, but Kucherov specifically has been playing fantastic. So, that was really fun to see. I wanted to say that as well.
Real quick, and maybe it's the next game. Never mind. I'll save it because I think it is actually the next game.
Well, let's go to that next game. It's the Lightning heading out to Detroit to take on the Red Wings. They'll have a road trip for the Bolts. Red Wings and Bolts can usually be a weird game. Red Wings are a good team. They're not bad by any stretch. So they're coming off a great win against the Flames, who are not as great. But the Lightning show up again. They win this one by a final score of 6-3. Red Wings actually got on the board first early in this game, but Darren Raddysh bounces back for the Bolts to tie the game. Second period, it was pretty much all Bolts, and the Lightning controlled the rest of the third. That's how you get to that 6-3 final. They got 2 goals late, including an empty netter from Brandon Hagel in this game. Yanni Gourde, he really showed up on the score sheet. 2 goals for him. Lightning come away with a big win, 6-3 over against a pretty good opponent in the Detroit Red Wings. And a lot of these numbers, guys, when you look at the stats, look really, really good for the Bolts.
Well, I was going to say, Yanni Gourde, I thought, was really big in this game. You got to see him skate all over the place and look pretty vintage Yanni Gourde, where his forecheck, his ability to get into like rougher parts of the ice and then make a difference, his ability to make plays along the boards is really apparent in this game more than I think others. And I'm glad that he was rewarded for the goal that he got. I thought that that was where he picked the guy's pocket, right? Or was that
that was Gonsalves?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, stole it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm just watching the replay on it now. Yeah, he had an amazing game on it. I do want to talk just for a quick moment about Darren Raddysh, because he shot the puck. Maybe, Matt, you remember the number because we talked about it at like 100 and 100 points.
Very close to 100, something like that.
So, yeah, something right up there. It was the 8th fastest shot of the season for the NHL, but it was the hardest shot of the season to actually go in. So There's a reason why they put him at the Victor Hedman spot on the power play, because that is a hell of a blast if he actually puts it on net, and you just can't react fast enough to get your glove up and stop it if he's accurate with that shot. That's such a hard shot, such a fast shot to get blown by in. So, I mean, hats off, and let those bald heads get some fresh air for Darren Raddysh, who, again, fastest shot goal in the NHL for this season so far.
I'm not even sure that puck was very highly elevated off the ice. I think it beat Gibson maybe 5-hole, or he just couldn't even get over in time. He was kind of very swimmy in the net the whole game, but he's had a rough start to the season for Detroit, and I'm glad we could capitalize against it. But this game does mark the first major strike for the new network. I think everybody was having some issues getting this game on. It had me geo-locked because I wasn't in the correct area code or whatever to access this game. So our first real downside, it's always a big topic on this show, is how much we hate these the broadcast, or the what do you call it? The regional broadcast. But if that's the first major strike so far, I still think we're on a good track. They fixed it pretty quick. I got it back in the second period to start working good. But as far as the game goes, yeah, another good game. I'm glad you brought up Yanni Gourde.
I was going to say, when in doubt, bust the bunny ears out, man. OTA for the win.
I'm not very traditional. I'm an iPad baby. I gotta have the app. Because I watched, both this game and the next game they were on while I was at work, so I don't have that luxury. But regardless, Yanni Gourde, he was flying around. You said it, vintage Yanni Gourde. And I think getting Pontus Holmberg back in the lineup as well has really helped that line re-gel. They were one of the only consistent lines at the start of the season. Like, they were kind of the best line we had when everything was just going awry those first 10 games. So I'm glad he's back in the lineup, and it's paying dividends for everybody. I think Gergensen's, he got a goal one of these games this week. So I'm glad some of these guys are getting back in the lineup. And yeah, just a fun game. And it was a weird game. Like, it never really felt out of touch. Like, Detroit always felt like they were in it. I'm glad it was a different result than what we got to see when we played them earlier this year, when you just put up 18 shots in the third period and they all get stuffed. It seems like almost everything was going in this game. So just another great result. I'm glad he could steal it on the road as well.
Yeah, road victories, always really nice to get those. It's always easier to play at home unless you're the New York Rangers. Really good stuff from the Bolts. And quick comment here from Lisa saying, had a hockey get-together for the Wings game. Way to go, Gordo. Yeah, Gord was fantastic. Really nice to see him get back together. Cool. Well, Lisa, I hope that you didn't have any issues when it came to the broadcast, that you had a get-together, because that's always unfortunate when you have people try to come over and then you can't get the game on. I don't know what – actually, I do think I kind of know what happened with that, is because if you looked at the game beforehand, for whatever reason, they had it set for, at least on the app, that game was supposed to be played at 1 o'clock. It was not. It was supposed to go at 12. And so that's why it wasn't live. It was really weird and also very frustrating, because I myself was on vacation. So I needed the app to be able to watch that game and couldn't do it. So that was a little bit of a struggle. But like you said, Matt, it's one hiccup. Those things are going to happen. We kind of expected it. Nobody's perfect. Script Sports definitely is not perfect. There's some things I wish they'd do better. But overall, still been a good experience. So,
yeah.
Hey,
I only had to watch the Detroit broadcast for a period or so, and I do have to give them credit. They've got one of the best, tandems for play-by-play guys. Ken Daniels and Mickey Redmond. They are top tier. So I did not mind it too bad.
She had ESPN Plus, but there you go. So then you have to worry about that. You had ESPN Plus, so that was nice. By the way, Joe, you asked for the stats. I did figure it out. When I said 2 earlier, I was looking at 5v4. Not 4v5. So that's why those numbers were wrong. But I've got it now. So goals for the Lightning on 4v5 is 2. So that's 2 shorthanded goals that they've scored. And then goals against 4v5 for the Lightning is 9. So that's pretty good rate. Only giving up 9 total goals in the penalty kill this year, and you've scored twice. So not too shabby at all. By the way, if you're wondering where that ranks when it comes to the entire league, I will tell you really quickly. The most goals for on 4v5 is by the Islanders with 4. So they're right in the middle of the pack, 12th technically when it comes to goals for. And then when it comes to goals against for the Lightning, again, remember I mentioned that was 9, and that currently ranks pretty darn good because I can tell you the highest is 24, so they are third in the league when it comes to that. And remember their penalty kill percentage at 88.8, which is best in the league. So there are those numbers for you guys of the goals against.
No, that's not accurate.
Joe's going to throw me right under the bus. Okay, what numbers are you seeing?
I mean, I just pulled up the player stats. As of right now, Ginsel has a shorthanded goal. So does Brandon Hagel, and so does Sorelli. I just had up. But maybe Sorelli.
Is it possible one of those shorthanded goals was like a
empty net shorthanded situation or something?
It could be contributed as something else. You're right. It probably was contributed as something else.
It could be that because this specifically is 4v5. Actually,
yeah. So you're probably right in the way that goes. But at any rate, it's impressive. I mean, especially when you see Hagel and Sorelli out there, I'm more excited that they're going to have a chance to do something than they're going to get scored on. So it's it's a good situation that we have.
By the way, it is listed as there. I see one here for the Bolts at 4v3, so that came out on a 4v3. That's what it is.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the stats get so specific that it definitely gets hard to track things in general. I mean, it's I guess it's just the nature
just
of
threw
the
me
beast.
right under the bus, Joe. I mean,
I mean, it's not like it was a wrong opinion. It was just you got bad information, man. That's all right.
Misrepresented information.
I like it. But going back to the Red Wings game, the Gage Gonçalves goal, I thought that one was hilarious because he looked right at the ref with the guiltiest look of, did I just get a hooking penalty on the goal? Because if you remember, he basically picked the pocket of one of the Red Wings defenders, got him like right on the hands in order to get a partial breakaway, then fired it 5-hole against the goalie. Looked immediately at the ref without celebrating, just kind of, like, does that one count? And they gave it to him. They didn't call it, but I'm really glad that he scored because he's somebody that also needs to start getting energized. He's been having kind of a rough season for someone that is, I consider him a cusp player, to be honest. We've got other guys that are in the system that definitely could fill his shoes if he doesn't start delivering. So good for him to generate that one pretty much all on his own.
I still think he's effective defensively. I'm not going to call him the next Bergeron or anything, even though
that's what the difference is, right? That's what the difference is. He's got a two-way game.
Mm-hmm. So he's on the cusp of being a cusp player, in my opinion, but I think his job is pretty locked up. Again, with all these injuries we have, and might not last, but I think his job is safe for now. But he definitely did need that. He's kind of been overshadowed. His less production has been overshadowed by everybody playing so well around him, but he's not a detractor by any stretch. So it's nice that he got that one, and it was a hell of a goal too. Good play.
Someone needs to tell him, though, that you don't look to the ref and try to look guilty. Act like you did score it, and then maybe you won't get the call. But it was an entertaining moment nonetheless. Great win for the Bolts. They continue their winning streak, moving it to 6 games in a row. And then the Lightning would head off to New York in a back-to-back game against the Rangers. Luckily, the Rangers also on a back-to-back. And as I kind of jokingly said earlier, Lightning playing in New York. And if you guys remember, we said it was you, Joe, that said it on last week's episode, like, let's get a good game against the Rangers and bounce back after they really took it to us back at Benchmark International Arena. And the Lightning, they were really solid. This was the best game I think they played the whole entire week. They dominated this game. They go 35 shots to the Rangers, 13 in total. They win it by a final score of 4-1. Faceoffs weren't great, and the power play was still an issue. But other than that, Lightning really, really controlled this entire game. I mean, the Rangers never got any great chances. Great to see, and they dominate and continue the trend of the Rangers not playing good at home.
I just want to say it seemed like probably the most complete game that the Lightning played all year, and we've said that for one or two of them, but this was one that was really, really exceptional from them. And then the Rangers, man, they just can't do it at home, can they? They are just as bad as advertised, and the Lightning tend to play down the bad teams, so good for them to get the jump. I think it was think it was like into the second period where the Rangers only had 6 at the end of the second, maybe had like 6 total shots. I guess I got this. They had 7 by the end of the second period. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
not even like they were getting like many shot attempts either. And what they were getting, the Bolts were getting sticks on them. They were blocking them. Like they were not letting much of anything get to the net or even attempted to get to the net. Like they did a good job just clamping down. You're right, as advertised. The Rangers just are abysmal at home. I don't know what is going on there, but just like when they were coming into Benchmark Arena, still weird to say, I was like, okay, I know we're going to lose this, or, I got a strong feeling we're going to lose this. Didn't think it would be that bad. And on the total inverse, I know we're probably going to win this, but I didn't think it would be that bad. I did not think that would be such a good showing by the Lightning and such just a meager performance by the Rangers. And no excuses, but the Rangers are a good face-off team. We've got 2 dogs in JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck that are really good in the dot. So you got to hand it to them there. They've got some specialty players for that, but still. What was the final percent? It was pretty weak, wasn't it?
64.6% for the Rangers, 35.4 for the Bolts.
Ooh, that's not good at all. So maybe I can't excuse it too hard, but I, got to give them a little bit of props. It's the only props I'll give the Rangers ever.
Well, you can kind of forgive it a little bit since the Lightning played so great in all the other aspects of the game. So that was the good news there, which actually it almost is surprising that the Rangers won that many faceoffs and they still couldn't get shots on goal. They only had 13 and the Lightning had 35. A great game for the Bolts. Brandon Hagel also gets 2 goals in this game. Boy, has he been hot. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we kind of saw a little bit of Nikita Kucherov out of Jake Gensel when he scored that empty net goal. He tried to pass it to Gord, and Gord said, nope, I'm going to give it right back to you. And then Gensel put it in the net. So they were kind of battling. Unless Gensel was just like, hey, Gord, you want to get a point on this? Here, let me give you a real quick for the assist. I don't know, but it was kind of funny. They passed it back and forth.
I've got a hot take. I think Yanni Gord and Brandon Hagel just don't get along, so he wants to get Gensel, the team lead in goals again. So, a little bit of an internal battle there.
That's a crazy hot take.
That's my headcanon.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I buy into that one, but another great game for the Bolts. Nick Paul, by the way, also gets a goal in this game. Good to see that he's continued to play pretty well since he's come back. He's got 2 goals on the season.
And he had one taken away in the Detroit game too. It was very illegal, but he did score it.
Well, it still went into the back of the net. Yeah. So. By the way, I want to see, because I see Joe jumping in the comments here too. It was Ethan who said there was another injury for one of the Blues players as an at-home injury. If you guys remember when the Lightning were playing the Devils, we talked about, who was it?
Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes, thank you. Who was not playing because he got cut supposedly at a restaurant. Now one of the Blues players got hurt because he burned his legs at an at-home incident. Nobody's really said anything, obviously, to what exactly it is. But if you kind of put 2 and 2 together, burns at home, it was Thanksgiving, something doesn't
wax was a little too hot. Oh, sorry, I was reading it wrong.
What'd you say, Joe?
Nothing. Nothing about hot wax and it being too hot.
Oh, that's what. Okay, yeah, never mind. Anyway, but yeah, don't know what exactly happened there. But the NHL players need to cut it out with these injuries. The Lightning already got enough of their own, so please, to all Tampa Bay Lightning players, do not hurt yourselves at home.
You guys are rich millionaires. Hire a chef.
Yeah, there you go.
Hold on. That's what is the difference between hockey players and just about every other sport, because most of the time it's just been real dudes playing the game. You see sports like baseball, and not to just single out baseball, but a guy will, like, literally this was a listed injury. He picked up a pillow and pulled out his back, and then he was like week to week. It's happened like 10 years ago. Baseball players get a small injury and they're out. I understand that there's a large number of games for them. Look at what happens with soccer players diving. Like, there's just a different...
Igor diving.
Yeah, he's a soccer fan for sure. I mean, it's just a different culture when it comes to hockey and playing through energies. There's a certain brevity that has just been instilled into hockey. So, yeah, I don't think that you need to pamper them more by giving them chefs. I think that you do kind of the opposite, you know. And actually, to be very realistic with it, I think part of the reason that you're seeing a lot more injuries from boarding is because guys don't anticipate getting hit as much and aren't protecting themselves. When you know that you've got Evgeny Artukin, someone that's like 6'6" and 280 pounds, that sole purpose is just to ruin your night by hitting you as hard as he can, you put yourself into a little bit safer of a spot after you make that pass. You roll off a pass or you roll off the boards or from your position, and we've seen a lot of guys that are just doing stupid stuff to get themselves hurt, and it's might be just kind of like the league does get a little bit too soft, and then people feel that they forget that they're not untouchable.
I don't want to be, the boomer yelling at clouds here, but a lot of these, former NHLers turned coaches, whether it be, midget coaches or just coaching these young kids, they say, we don't teach them how to take hits anymore. It's so far gone until, they're playing high level hockey where you can make these hits now that they don't know how to they don't know how to take hits. They don't know how to fall or how to, just prepare yourself in these situations. Everything's so skill and fast now that you don't prepare for Tom Wilson or Evgeny Artukin. What a name. What a pull.
Only guy I've ever seen rip another player's helmet off and proceed to hit him with it.
But they're just not prepared for this anymore. And you're in a weird dynamic of the NHL right now where you've still got a little tiny bit of the old guard that are still running around, those big guys, the Tom Wilsons and I think Adam Lowry's that are just killing these younger guys. But hopefully that shifts soon. I hope it doesn't go completely skilled because I still love the game that I used to know.
A couple of quick stats for you guys now that we talked about all three games for the week for the Lightning. Just how good of a tear they're on. They're on the hottest streak in the NHL right now, having won 7 in a row. Next closest would be Washington, who won 4 in a row. They got a plus 19 goal differential, pretty darn good overall, and they're sitting in first place in the Atlantic right now. And as Joe mentioned earlier, tied for first in the conference. So fantastic stuff. 0.68 point percentage right now for the Bolts. And it's been an unbelievable turnaround from last to first for this team, and they're playing such good hockey. I mean, we kind of flew through those games a little bit because there really wasn't that much bad to talk about. It was all a lot of good, and that's been so nice to see.
So boring.
Yeah, honestly, a little bit, but you know what? I'm fine with that. The one thing I would still like to see the Lightning get better on is that power play. Boy, that power play. I do think that is an issue because that's something they've got to figure out when it comes time for the playoffs. Long way to go for that, obviously. But you have to capitalize on those chances. When you play good teams, that's going to hurt you in the long run. And it felt like for a little bit they were maybe figuring something out there, and then it's kind of fallen off a little bit again. But they've got to get that power play going.
Bergeron's trying. He's trying his butt off to score, but it's still eluding him. I think that's going to be the key. If he can get going, I think it'll actually change a lot on the team.
Yeah, he's the biggest what if right now. Also, if Braden Point can get going again, he had 25 power play goals last year, and yeah, you can omit him this week. He was injured, but if you can get him going at all, even strength first, I think the power play goals will come as well. So just got to get him back in the lineup. We did get the Raddysh goal. That was a power play goal, wasn't it? So at least it wasn't a full blank on the week. Better than where we were 2 weeks ago. The best way to start a marathon, or the only way to start a marathon is taking that first step. So
yeah, that's true. And you're talking about the 7-game winning streak. I just want to point out. I know that we played against the Calgary Flames, and I'm sure there's another couple of West Coast teams, but we talked about this earlier in the season, how every single team in the Eastern Conference was above 500. The Toronto Maple Leafs, second to last in the entire Eastern Conference, but they're a dead even 500. There's only one team worse than them, which is the Buffalo Sabres, and they're .480. So not exactly a complete scrub team. They're almost at 500 themselves. They're literally one win away from being 500. So the teams that the Lightning have been going up against and that they're stacking up from here is some pretty good competition, and it shows also. And I mentioned usually when we get closer to the playoffs, goal differential. Now the goal differential for the Lightning is a +19, which is second best or tied for first best in the Eastern Conference, second best in, I guess, third best in the league with the last Dallas Stars win. Okay, can I? Eureka's Colorado Avalanche +48. Are you kidding me?
Oh
They still only have one regulation loss.
Oh, they're playing unbelievable.
Too
I hope
hot
they
too
win
early.
out.
They're burning too hot too early, bud.
Well, listen, if I remember correctly, Lightning played Colorado pretty darn close, and that was in their maybe not so great stint. So I'd like a rematch against Colorado to really see where the boys are at. But
I'm cheering for the President's Trophy for Colorado. The better the regular season, the worse the playoffs. That's what history has told me. So
Eureka literally just said that. What could go wrong with the President's Trophy?
we know all too well. All right, let's talk about the Lightning, who have been unbelievably hot, winning 7 in a row. By the way, you know how you stay hot, guys? You go over to shop.rblrsports.com and check out some of the awesome hot merch that we got for you guys. Lightning, Bucks, Rays, Rowdies, Sun, all the Tampa teams, you name it, we got it. Team-inspired merch. Check it out and use code BULLS to get 10% off your order. Links, as always, are in the description below. Don't forget shop.rblrsports.com. You got Christmas coming around the corner, Hanukkah as well. So be sure to go pick up some merchandise. It really helps us out, and you guys get a cool t-shirt out of it. So be sure to go do that. All right, but really speaking of hot guys right now and how well the team has been playing, let's get to our 3 stars of the week. And, sometimes we have where it's really difficult to pick stars because nobody played good at all. Sometimes you have it where it's kind of easy. Sometimes it's really hard because everybody on the team is playing unbelievably well. And I think that was kind of the situation for this week. So many guys could be on this list right now because the whole team is just firing on all cylinders. But here's our list. Let us know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But let's start off with the number 3 star of the week for us. He's a guy who is just an awesome person. I absolutely love him. He knows what to say. He's so entertaining, has the best goal celebrations of all time. 4 goals, 1 assist for 5 points, and was a +6 this week. That is future captain Brandon Hagel, who gets the 3rd star of the week. He was absolutely stupendous.
I really hate that we had to sacrifice Braden Point for Brandon Hagel's Selke year, MVP year, what it's shaping up to be. I mean, he's just clutch. At this point, it's automatic. These goals, these assists, everything he does. He's the epitome of a 200-foot player. I'm really pushing for Hagel for Selke. I know it's hard for wingers to get that, but I'm going to push for it. You can push for your captain, Hagel, Jake, but that's still a couple years away. Man, I ran out of words a few weeks ago on how hot he's been. I'm very grasping at straws right now. You're getting everything you bargained for and then more, and just the best contract in the world.
This team really does well when you've got somebody that pushes them. At times, it's been Kucherov. We've definitely seen Stamkos in the past put the team on his back. There's all sorts of players that rise to the occasion, and Hagel just keeps being the name that playing both sides of the puck, offense, defense, the penalty kill, the fact that he's able to do it like that. I'm pulling up his numbers right now. Just every single week he's got points. He's plus, his plus-minus differential just keeps increasing. I know that some of these numbers are a little bit skewed because the start of the season was so rough for players. He's a +16 at this point. Man, he could be a number 1 star almost every single week.
I wish I could find the stat again because I don't remember exactly what it was, but someone pointed out that Hagel, because remember through the first, 5, maybe 10 games, he only had 1 assist. Things were not going well for
It was
Brandon
the first
Hagel.
7 games.
First 7 games. Okay, thank you. And then since then, he's had 24 points. I mean, he is on another level right now. So, you think about Braden Point, where you mentioned, Matt, who's injured right now, but everybody's playing really well. Hagel's on another level, but these guys are really starting to click right now. Really makes you wonder what on earth happened at that start of the season for the Bolts. But
All right, so do you want for a quick visit? Do you want to just talk about for like 2 seconds here, where Kucherov missed a game because he was sick? Do you think that maybe the guys were legitimately fighting something off because their hustle was so poor? I remember calling out Sorelli on several, a whole bunch of goals against where he just wasn't even really pumping and trying. Maybe legitimately the team was like passing a bug around.
Something was going on. You had a lot of guys missing time at weird one-offs too, and you might be right, Joe. I don't know, but something was clearly off, and whatever it was, it's gone now because they are playing really good. I guess
thank God the fans didn't freak out and react poorly about it.
No, nobody.
And Sorelli's defensive game has really turned around as well too. He's been, who we all expect as well. And another factor that kind of gets overshadowed, how big of a turnaround Vasilevsky's had from the start of the season is he did miss all of training camp, all of preseason, or what he played one period in a preseason game. And, what history has taught me as well is that when goalies miss training camp, it's different from regular, forwards or defensemen. When goalies miss camp, they're really cold. And so this might have just been, these first 15 games of the season might have just been his training camp. So he seems like he's his usual self now because he wasn't the issue. He was part of the issue, but everything's really rounding into place now. And I hope it's, it might just be a hot streak. I think they might, revert into the mean. You're not going to win out for the rest of the season.
Shut up, man. I don't want to hear that.
Let's be real. But again, reverting to form, regressing to the mean is still an elite team. So I think a lot of these problems will be behind us. There will be some lulls, but everybody's starting to look like themselves.
Yeah, a real test will be too is once Hedman, McDonough, Cernak come back. If those guys are able to don't.
Now you can kick me out.
So you were pointing out that Hedman started skating again, and that is actually, for me, that is a big concern. One of the things that you always see when it comes to a rookie being called up for the first time is he tries exceptionally hard and hits above his weight class. And then when you start to get players coming back, sometimes there's a collective sigh of relief that now some of this load can be distributed on these players that have missed a significant amount of time, and that can lead to some stretches of poor play. So, it's the balance. Obviously, you want these guys back, but hopefully they start getting introduced at, incrementally, and the guys still have that fire in them to push hard for the players that are just returning.
I didn't know it could get worse.
Well,
Hedman's play.
As far as I'm aware, I don't think there's any timetable set for Hedman to return right now. He's just back on the ice. It still could be a little bit. They haven't said exactly when he's going to return. But you're right, Joe. Hopefully it's a nice, easy transition for him. And get him back to 100%. None of this, he's only at 90%, but he can play crap because there's the potential that I think Hedman might have been playing still a little banged up at the start of this season. So let's make sure they're back at 110%.
It seems like the last 3 years Hedman's been playing through an injury or something, or last 5 years playing through an injury. So, yeah, if we're cooking and rolling at this point, I don't mean to be this guy that you hate, Jake, but keep him out until he's ready, not until he's good enough, until he's ready.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. That's how it should always be with injuries. Bring them back when you're 100%, unless it's like a immediate playoff push and you need to win the game or something like that. Other than that, wait till 100%. All right, let's get back to the stars of the week here. See, so much good to talk about. We get off track a little bit here. But our number 2 star of the week is not a forward, but you might think he might have been with his 1 goal and 6 assists for 7 points this week, also being a +6. Talked about it a couple of times. It's none other than the bald eagle himself, Darren Raddysh, who gets the number 2 star of the week. Boy, was he good.
I think I might start investing in stocks. I mean, I invested in Darren Raddysh on my fantasy team, and it has paid off tremendously. Joe, you were laughing at me when I said this last week. You said, we'll see how that goes for you, and it has gone great.
A little bit of professional advice here. Buy low like you did, but sell high.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say now's a good time because this is an amazing week. I don't know if he can continue at this sort of pace. I've been kind of silent on his play because I haven't been really thoroughly impressed overall this year, but he showed up this week amazingly well, and to set that that fastest shot is something that you can just put a feather in your cap. Maybe it'll keep his bald head warm.
I'm glad he's actually started hitting the net though, because again, the just like everybody else in the first part of the season, really starting off rough. He could not hit the broadside of a barn, and now he's really starting to hit the net. He even had a goal taken away, didn't he? One of
We
these
had so many
games?
taken away
This
these
season.
past couple days. Yeah.
But still.
Might be right, but I'm not 100% sure. Great week for Raddysh nonetheless. Anytime you can put up 7 points as a defenseman, that's pretty darn impressive for him. Do want to give a quick honorable mention to guys like JJ Moser, who was a +7 this week. Really great stuff. He didn't have any points though, so can't really quite make the list. Actually, I saw him on a list this week, a short list for potential Norris candidate, but he just doesn't have that offensive push right now. But that's a good defense that he's been playing as well. Jake Gensel, Yanni Gord, both those guys are really good. Gensel had 2 goals, 3 assists for 5 points. Gord was 2 goals, 2 assists, and it was a +4 this week. He was really good. A lot of guys just really stepping up. Sorelli, he was a +5 and had the 1 assist this week. But the number 1 star is going to go to a guy who has dominated the league for so many years. Heck, for a whole season, we called this Nikita Kucherov's 3 stars of the week, and he is back on top as the number 1 star. Kucherov, 1 goal, 6 assists for 7 points, and was a +6. Something you don't always see from Kucherov, but he was even way up there in the plus-minus category.
I got nothing more to add to Kucherov. When he has one of his weeks, I mean, you don't really need to say anything at this point, right? So just this week he went Kucherov.
It's very kind of Brandon Hagel to let Kucherov on his list again to resell him his business. Again, we're speechless with Hagel, but it's been, for just a couple seasons now. For Kucherov, it feels like my entire life since I've been a fan, since he's been on this team. You cannot speak highly enough about him. You can also talk pretty bad about him, but he had a couple really nice back checks and defensive plays this week as well. Like, it wasn't your typical, turn the puck over, really bad turnovers, but he makes a couple great plays. He was great all around this week, and he's really starting to catch up in the overall points for the league. As much as I want him to win another Art Ross, maybe he can place second this year. Just given the playoff success after all the Art Ross trophies, second place will be just fine for me. So if he can continue playing like this, maybe getting Braden Point back in the lineup as well, will really start to boost those numbers if he can help himself, if he can help it. Oh man, I'm glad.
Well, I was just gonna, agree with you with what you're saying. You were mentioning his back check. I was gonna say his forecheck has been absolutely nasty. The amount of hustle that he's had in it, and then to speak on getting Braden Point, if our power play was clicking at all, then he would be, even with the slump to start the season, right up there. He's currently in the top 10. He's tied for 9th in points. So he's got 32. Connor Bedard is tied for second with 37, and McKinnon's having a McKinnon season. He's got 44, so that's 12 points more. But there's no reason that Kucherov shouldn't have that 37 mark if our power play was clicking, because if our power play goes in, it's definitely going to be an assist that were secondary for him. So he's playing, he's still climbing the points, even though we've got quite a deficit on our special teams there.
I wonder if, McKinnon's going to just take the league by storm, having an elite season, and they give the Hart Trophy to somebody else because it's about time they won it and you already got yours. I think that'd be really funny.
No comment. We'll see how the rest of the season plays out, but there are your 3 stars of the week: Brandon Hagel, Darren Raddysh, and Nikita Kucherov. Again, let us know down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We always love to hear what you guys have to say. Well, for the Lightning to stay hot, here's the schedule that's coming up against them. They've won 7 in a row. Next up, which will be on Tuesday, December 2nd, the Lightning will be taking on the New York Islanders at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then they will be back home to Benchmark International Arena to take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game also at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday, again home, they'll have the New York Islanders right back in town this time. Game again at 7 p.m. All these games at 7 p.m. Eastern coming up here for the week for the Bolts. And then they will mention the game on Monday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That game at 7:30 in Toronto, part of a back-to-back, by the way, which they'll play on Tuesday against the Montreal Canadiens.
So that Monday we pretty much you know catch us here at 6, then go and turn on the telly and watch that Toronto game. It'll be a good evening of hockey discussion and some Bolts watching.
I really hope that isn't the get-right game for Toronto. I really hope we can just shove them a little bit further down in the standings. That'd be great. Those are games that are always just wicked, not fun, but dysfunctional for maybe both teams. But as far as the games, right in the right in front of us, New York, Pittsburgh, and New York again, should be interesting. Hopefully, we don't get no boring games. It seems like those teams are kind of low score and low event games right now. I just hope we keep this streak alive and running good.
Well, the way the Lightning are playing, I wouldn't expect any boring games right now. Both those teams, about middle of the pack, by the way, when it comes to league standings. Pittsburgh 13th in the league right now. New York is 15th. So I believe Pittsburgh's got a +4 goal differential, and the Islanders have a -1. So listen, the Lightning are playing their best hockey that they've ever played in a while, quite honestly. So if they can keep doing what they've been doing, there's no reason not to think that they won't continue this winning streak. It does get nervous some, though, like you kind of said, Matt. All good things must come to an end at some point. You can't win them all, as the saying goes. But it's been great hockey for the Bolts. Let's keep on winning. When we come back next week to talk about even more Lightning wins. But
again, we just got to make sure that the Avalanche have at least one more point in the standings than us. That's all we need.
Always keep them out in front. Well, they're playing unbelievable hockey right now. You want to talk about the Lightning being good? The Avalanche are playing really, really good as well. But I think that's going to do it for us in this episode. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in once again with us live. If you did miss this episode live and you're watching later on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. Follow us on social media at RBLR Sports, at RBLR Lightning, all that good stuff, so you do know when we go live. But with that said, we'll talk to you guys in the next one. Go Bolts.
Thank you for tuning into this presentation by RBLR Sports. On your way out of the stadium, please remember to like and subscribe.